we must prove the product first.
Okay.
We must show that every driver we add on our platform is profitable driver.
Very
Right,
interesting.
as compared to many of the I think startups, they initially go and burn quite a lot, and then somewhere down the line it starts making money. So we are conscious about it.
Now let me give the dissection of this entire discussion what we had.
Yeah.
One, the idea is so simple. It's primarily focuses on the most downtrodden community and class of the people in this country. Somebody is ferrying people through a conveyance mode called rickshaw.
Yeah.
And it has got a fancy tag called e-rickshaw.
Yeah.
The adaptability of e-rickshaw is not very widely accepted in the country even today. Some pots, when you travel northeast and all, you can see them.
Correct.
And I see them quite often in Delhi region. I see they are using in Noida and Delhi and all these places. What actually surprises me is the modus of operandi of this particular business and its execution is completely different, right? How did you go about it?
Ravi, really very, very different, right? You are talking of now a segment of the society which is, let's say, not as educated as the rest of the society is. They are not digitally enabled to a great extent, and they don't understand all the mumbo jumbos around the technology. So you need to really solve the real world problems which we discussed, right? Because that's what matters to the ultimately to the people, right? And for that you have to really bring the product in the market, work with them. If I set up, let's say, some fancy call centers which only works on, let's say, sorry and thank you, that's not going to work in this segment.
Absolutely.
So you have to, that's my next one, where we have to create the local touch point for these people, which we call the neighborhood touch point, right? They should be able to go somewhere and say, hey, I have a problem or I have a new need. And that's where we created the network of ecosystem of dealers and distributors who are just next to the driver. And that completes our fine tech story. So you have financing. So we created this interesting financing model for them and battery as a service. We created neighborhood touch points for them, which is the networks where they can go, they can meet, they can talk. And then we created the tech around it to wrap it up to make sure that you are able to give them what they need.
Absolutely.
And let me give you some statistics. As one I said, increase their earnings, right? Decrease their downtime significantly and hence increase their earnings for sure. Now think of it, we have already started working on something we call karma score, right? So now I know almost entire history and geography of this battery and the drivers, how many kilometers the person is running, how many he is earning, right? Because it's directly proportionate to number of kilometers this guy runs. And hence think of it, going forward, can I then go back to the banks and insurance companies and say, hey, do you want to sell insurance to this guy?
Quite interesting.
This is very, very interesting because I know everything about him.
Okay.
Go further. Can they even sell education loan for his kids, right? And then think of it, can we bring this guy out of the debt trap and can we really bring him into the mainstream and create maybe another million taxpayer citizens of this country? So that is the full cycle. So you are working for the society, you are working for the driver, and ultimately you are solving it for the ecosystem. And that keeps us going.
When you talk about uniqueness about yours vis-a-vis that of any competition, I don't think in the space where you are currently operating there is much of a competition. But there could be many more misgiving EV aggregators out there in the market. So in terms of uniqueness of your business model, where do you see yourself growing in the next 10 years?
One, there are many players. This EV market is already crowded, if I may use that word. The good part is many of them only solve a pointed solution, right? Let's say there are NBFCs who are solving the financing issue, right? There are battery manufacturers who are solving the battery manufacturing issue in a way, or there are OEM manufacturers who are giving the vehicles. Nobody is solving it for the driver,
for the operator,
for the person where it matters the most.
Okay.
And that's what we take the pride that we are providing that single stop solution, which is a completely services, completely tech enabled as well, right? So that is what differentiates us completely. And hence, think of it, this platform now, we can extend it vertically. We can extend it to the next layer, which can be the food mile and the last mile commerce providers. We can extend it to the L3 segment or an L5 segment. We technically call it L5, which is autos, and then go into the four-wheeler segment.
So there's horizontal expansion.
There is a horizontal expansion possible and vertical expansion possible. So that's number one. Geography is honestly is not a limitation, in the sense that once you have the funds available with you, you can. We have created the kits. We can launch a city within 30 days. A new city can be launched within 30 days. The kits are available. The training material is available. You hire the people, and you are good to go. It's a very asset-light model. And as I said, we are OEM agnostic, so we are not even, let's say, logged to a particular OEM, be it OEM of the manufacturer of vehicles or the battery, and not even logged to a particular NBFCs or a bank. We can have multiple NBFCs and banks on us. So let the driver choose.
Let him choose. Let him be the deciding authority.
Yeah, absolutely, which makes sense for him. And that's how our whole product philosophy had been. That, hey, why should I force a product which works in Delhi to a person who is in Mathura? It does not make sense. It's an overkill for him, right? So why don't I design a product which makes sense for him? Because again, the driver first ethos coming in place.
In terms of consumer feedback, did you implemented any sort of a mechanism for ChargeUp?
Yes. Interestingly, very few people think of it in the initial stage of the journey. We started it. We started measuring what we in the industry called NPS or the customer sat, right? So all our fundas of telecom came here handy. That can we start measuring how much are our drivers loving us?
Net promoter score.
The net promoter score. And we are sitting at a net promoter score of 57 today, which is an excellent. So brilliant. Adding to this, there is. For us, our go-to market is actually dependent on the referral from these drivers, because a satisfied customer always gives you one more customer, and that is where our go-to market is heavy dependent on a satisfied driver in the end.
And ChargeUp doesn't do much of a branding; it's more of a word of mouth.
The whole market is very micro market.
Okay.
Right. Let's say being a startup, we can't even just paint the town red. Okay. You need a lot of funds, number one. Number two, again, these drivers operate in certain pockets. So you have to really start doing your work around those pockets. And that is where this referral program with the drivers works the best as compared to any other media.
How is the competition reacting to your services approach?
One, as I said, the market is so big. It can definitely absorb a lot of other competitors. That's number one. As of today, there are not much who can claim to have a one-stop shop solution for the driver.
So, how did you choose about the technology? You said AI, you said ML. They are all there capturing the data, analyzing the data. So, how did you go about choosing that?
We are in fact the partners with Microsoft.
Okay.
We are on the Founders Hub.
Okay.
Right. They were very, very kind to really lend expertise, as well as the storage, compute, the tech behind AI ML, and that's what we are using. So we are using one of the best in the industry.
Why are you slow in acquiring funds?
I think we are conscious about that we must prove the product first.
Okay.
We must show that every driver we add on our platform is profitable driver.
Very interesting.
Right? As compared to many of the I think startups, they initially go and burn quite a lot, and then somewhere down the line it starts making money. So we are conscious about it, that initially, yes, there will be marketing requirements, there will be investment in tech, but at least every new acquisition is a profitable acquisition, and hence we are very conscious about it. So we want to give a very confident product to the investors. Because investors also need a product which works, right? And we have proven that the product is out in the market, it works. We have close to 5,600 drivers already who are using this platform. If just get 20% of this market
by
share,
listening to the statistics, I'm getting charged up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hold on to your thoughts, Sathish. We'll come back again. Yeah. Wait for our next episode.
We are fairly confident to go out in the market instead of just talking about PowerPoint presentations. We said, hey, this is the time for us to go confidently to the investors that we have a product which is rolled out, and we are already in 15 cities, by the way. So
15 cities
yes,
already.
yes, it's not a small footprint.
ChargeUp is present in 15
15
cities.
cities already. We have 300 plus dealer partners with us. There are multiple OEMs and the NBFCs who are already joined on the platform. So just the right time for us to think of that hockey stick moment whereby you can scale to 100 cities in next 1 year. Why not?
100 cities.
Yeah.